Welcome back, everybody. It's Roll20 Presents The Burning Wheel. And while I guess we're used to, like, big kingdom-shaking conflicts and secret pacts between nobility and witchery in ancient churches, there's, on the other hand, we have Joy. Joy, who is currently locked in a closet by a big jerk and his stupid baby.
I've said it a bunch of times before. Everybody else has the earth-shaking world.
Okay, not his baby though.
I mean, it's not your baby, so I mean, you just...
I birthed that child.
Possession is 50% of the law, at least. So.
Just because you made a thing doesn't mean you get to keep it. He has seized the fruits of your labors.
But as I was saying, everybody else has got earth-shaking conflict, and I've got a locked door.
Listen, I try to give you challenges that I think are suitable to the skill level and ability that your character has.
That's entirely what I want. Yeah. Okay, well, what is in this closet? I would like to scavenge this closet for anything that may be useful in opening the door of this closet.
Yeah, I mean, you tell me what would be useful.
I mean, if there's like a trowel or like a rake or, you know, something like that, I could probably use it to pry open whatever rudimentary lock is on this thing.
Okay, so you're looking for something that'll help you
exit this closed door. Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, it's locked by like a key lock.
Sure, but like I can't imagine the lock on the closet door is like particularly sturdy.
Okay, so let's have you scavenge for something to help you unlock this door.
Yes.
And then we'll just make this a linked test for the actual like lock picking.
Yeah, like getting out of the...
Yeah, because you'll find something, but it might be good and help, it might be neutral, or it might be shit and make it worse.
What
I want to check one other thing real quick.
I'm just gonna jam the lock and be stuck in this closet forever.
Oh, lockpick is a skill. Okay, all right. So scavenging, just something you can use as a lockpick in like essentially a supplies closet. I will say is an ob. It's either gonna be ob 1 or ob 2. Let me look.
Let me know.
Scavenging. Because you're not looking for actual lockpicks. This is just an adjacent
No, I'm
test.
not looking for lockpicks in this.
Okay, common household goods, ob 2.
Okay.
I mean, you could. This is the thing about scavenging. You could be like, I would like to find a set of lockpicks.
Oh, totally.
It would be like ob 10, but yeah. It's a circles test, but for objects.
You could do it.
Is what scavenging is.
I need like a trowel or like a small spade or something that I can use to like pry open a crowbar even.
Right.
You know, that's what I'm looking for. I'd fucking fail, but that's okay.
That's okay. You can continue working on scavenging.
That's okay because I have finished opening scavenging.
Yeah, you've become a scavenger. Good work.
Fucking finally.
Okay. So, yeah, I don't think, like, I think this is like a linen closet. And so you just find a lot of like decorative soaps and towels and what have you. Bed sheets, that sort of thing. Not much sharp to be found in here.
Oh, well.
Maybe you end up with like, there's a shelf that you can break a splinter off of, and so you've got like a wooden splinter that you're gonna try
to jam the door open a little bit or something.
So it's an ob 1 lockpick test, but it's +1 ob because of the failed link test.
Okay.
So
I don't have lockpicking either, so let's add that to my list of things I don't know about.
You should keep a list of all the skills that you've rolled that you don't have, so that eventually you can have tested every skill in the game.
Right now it's 8. Nice. 8 of them that I don't have that I've had.
So lockpick is the average of perception and agility.
The average of perception and agility.
Yeah. So it's the average of perception.
Custom 1. I don't know how to do this on the actual thing. Because my perception is 4, my agility is 5, so I guess it's 4?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just mark it as perception then and deal with the rest later.
Okay.
And then we'll do this. Okay, so what's the ob on my lockpick?
If you're rolling it unskilled, just put it in as ob 2. It'll actually be ob 4.
Okay.
I mean, you get 2. One of them's a 6. You wanna try?
No, I'm done spending fate on useless crap. But that's what
So
you have
yeah,
to
I think you end up just breaking the piece of wood off in the lock.
do. Yeah, that sounds about right.
And the lock now has a chunk of wood sticking out of it. And what is Joy's reaction to this whole situation?
So she manages to break off this splinter of wood, and she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna get out of here." And like is trying to like by the light of the crack in the door, trying to like figure out how to open this thing. And there's this small, like tiny cracking noise as she catches this piece of wood in the lock, and she pulls it out, and there's like half of it is still left in the lock, and she looks at it, and there's this moment of like, fuck. Throws the lockpick away and then just bangs on the door like, hey, let me out.
Okay. It's like pounding on the door. Yeah, I think you want someone to like find you?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's two ways of coming at this. You can make another circles test and try to circles up somebody, or you can just make a conspicuous test and be like, just anybody find me.
Let's do a circles test. Anybody who knows me.
Just the same test as before.
Same test.
Okay.
It's Reza again, I swear to fucking God.
All right. So Ob1 circles. Ob1 circles test.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a member of the noble court.
Go. Yay!
Hey, there you go. Okay, so you're banging on the door and
and also my circles just went up.
Nice. See, it's fine making tests. So you're pounding away on the door and like shouting, and then you hear the door like rattle, and you hear someone open it. You hear the key turn because I guess Reza left the key in the lock.
Yeah.
And the door opens, and you see a young nobleman. You don't recognize him. He's probably in his like mid-20s. Recently,
by the way, when the door opens, I practically fall out.
Yeah, you tumble out,
like, pounding on the door, right?
And he's wearing doublet and hose. And he has blonde hair, kind of like down to his shoulders, that like curls out of the edge. And he looks down, and he's like, "Oh my, whatever were you doing in there?"
Oh, having nap. A little earlier, I say, like brushing myself off as I pick myself up. Somebody closed the door, got stuck. This whole thing,
And he looks past. He says, "But 'tis a closet for linens."
Stygians like to sleep in the dark and in closed spaces.
And he scratches his chin and says, "Fascinating. Wait a moment. I know you. You're the king's jester."
I would hope so, I say, like, standing imperiously, all of a sudden.
And
yes!
he laughs, he claps his hands, and he says, "Ooh, do sing us a song, Jester."
My dear sir, I would gladly sing you a song. Which song would you like to hear? And then perhaps you could take me to where the king is. I haven't seen him in a while.
And
getting a little anxious without my master,
And he scowls and he says, "Ooh, sing one about my uncle."
Yes, it's coming back to me now. The rude, boorish one who belches far too frequently and has a club foot. Of course.
Are you doing this to like you're saying things about him slowly to kind of like get watched?
You
yes, the tall, short uncle you have. Right. Okay. So you're just trying to bullshit him into giving you some material to make a song.
Yeah, like give me something I can use to sing this song.
Yeah, it's cold reading, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like there's a role here.
Okay.
For this. What's really happening is you just want this guy to like
I want him to like me.
Yeah.
So that then he will take me where I need to go.
Okay. All right. Well, I feel like we could probably roll it all together, right? Because it's
Yeah.
part of like your improvisational.
So
like-
I can fork singing into like whatever.
I was
role
thinking you make the singing test,
Or
and
I
then
can
you can
sing,
fork,
yeah.
and fork other stuff into it, like
This
falsehood.
will be. I actually have sing. This will be the first time it's ever been rolled or used for rolling at all.
Fantastic. Okay, all right. So let's see if you can sing a bawdy song about this guy's uncle, who you're not totally sure who he is,
Yeah, I don't even know who this guy is.
because you don't have like noble wise, right?
Nope.
No. Okay,
I have
good.
slave wise. It's the only wise I've got.
So you'll try to make the song as like generic as possible, but also like play off.
That's
some
the
of his own
plan.
stuff.
I just like generic insults about someone's general intelligence.
Right,
Or,
like the kind of person he might want a song
Yeah,
to sing about. Okay,
yeah,
all right.
exactly.
Right.
So I'm gonna sing and falsehood. Definitely, I'm gonna fork in falsehood.
Okay.
'cause
The
he's
ob
making
is the
shit
will of the listener, which in this case is 2.
Okay.
And yeah, you're gonna have
So-
falsehood. Yeah.
So I'm gonna sing. I'm gonna fork in falsehood. I'm also gonna fork in conspicuous because I'm like singing in the middle of a fucking hallway. And I would also like to add a little addendum at the end that's like, and if this song please you, that you take me to the king, and fork in persuade as well.
Right, because that's really the purpose.
Yeah, exactly. So let's do that.
All right, up to sing test.
Okay. Damn it! I rolled
Nice.
5 dice for the
Nice.
second time this game and get no success.
The dice were a 1, a 2, a 3, a 2, a 1.
Fucking what? I set that up so I
You have a
could do it.
gift.
I had such a good chance.
You have an incredible gift, Elf. It's truly beautiful.
Oh. Okay. All right, I'll just get back in the closet.
Right, never mind. Just leave me in here. Oh God. So I think you just piss him off, and instead of taking you to the king, he gets offended, and he'll storm off. So you finish the song, and he's like, it's not that you did it wrong, right? You just maybe overdid it, and you've like hurt his feelings, and now he's like, you can't talk about my uncle that way. And so when you finish the song, he doesn't clap, he doesn't laugh, he just scowls at you, and he says, "I'll have you know my uncle is a fine man," and he like storms off.
So fine, I don't remember him. Like, you know, she says from her position of like while he's stalking away.
Yeah.
But she's like, okay, well, I guess I'll find my own way then, you know, and wanders through these halls until she finds like a assembly location or
I mean, you can find your way to court proper, right? Because it's still in session, so to speak.
I mean, that's my plan. Yep.
Okay. All right. So you you know the way this place is. You know the biggest room and where to go, and you find your way there. And when you get there, there are all the assembled nobles of the court, or all the assembled nobles that are left of the court. There's the king. Alessandra, I think, is not present because this is while she's with
This is
Agatha,
during-
and it's like the end of the day, so the king is just kind of going through the last of the courtiers.
My plan here is to move to like as front as I can within the king's line of sight, and like I don't want to interrupt him because he's like doing courtly stuff or whatever, and I don't want my first interaction with him after being away to be like him getting pissed at me.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be like within sight.
Okay.
That's the idea. Like I want him to notice me.
It's interesting because you're being selectively conspicuous.
Yeah. Basically.
Let's have you make a conspicuous test.
Sure. Ob.
2.
Okay.
Because it would be 1, but you want only the king to notice you.
Well, I mean, everybody can notice me. That's fine.
Right, but you don't want like Reza or like someone
Okay,
who's going to be annoyed that you're here, or someone that recognizes that you don't belong or whatever. Yeah.
I guess that's fair. Okay. Well, I have nothing that I can reasonably fork into this. I don't think. At least in this situation. So, Nope, nothing. So we'll just call it what it is.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. Why didn't that work?
The game just doesn't even want you to roll anymore.
No,
We're just done. We're done with that.
Doesn't fucking matter. I failed.
Oh, there you go.
There it
You
is.
got one success.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that it takes you some time to push through the crowd, like trying to get through.
Well, it's-
Pardon me, excuse me. It's a cramped room, right? The actual castle had a much larger room for this, but here in the Corvidae estate, it's much more difficult to kind of get yourself through this space. And by the time you get up to the front, you push your way through. The herald is standing as the king. The king he's gotten up and he's walking away. And the herald is like, "Assembled courtiers, we thank you for your attendance. The king again shall return on dawn's light on the morrow. Be well." And everyone's just like, some people are grumbling. The person who was like right ready to get up in line is like, "Oh, no, it's like I gotta wait in town tomorrow." And like everybody's kind of like dispersing a little bit, and you get pushed back a little, and you see the king go through like a side door.
Oh, I'm after the king at this point. Like this hasn't stopped me from addressing the king. Okay, this is for all them. I'm special. I'm different.
Okay.
So I'm gonna follow where the king has gone.
Okay, the king is going backstage, and likely you will have a harder time there. But you can still see him in the room, so like you could just shout.
I mean, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call out like, "My king, I return." Sort of
Right.
thing, like my arms.
So now all of a sudden, everyone in the room is paying attention to you, because this is a polite place where people don't yell and shout unless they're
I don't
Miro.
care.
Um,
Those people are dumb.
And now all of a sudden everyone's just like, "My goodness, what's that sound? I hear a lower class person." And so like all of a sudden everybody just stops and turns to look, and the king stops, and he turns around with a weary look on his face, and he sees you, and he makes eye contact. Do you say anything?
Once I know he's looking at me, I do another one of those sort of like very flowery, sort of like joy bows, and say like, "Well, I'm, like my lord, your great, I don't know what, your highness."
Your Highness, I think, is the appropriate term. Yep.
Your highness, I've made my way back here to find you.
And I think he's just staring at you, like it's a kind of blank face stare.
It took me quite some time to make my way past the blank-faced cretins you have all over the doors and servants with no brains in their heads, but I made it through.
A nearby cretin sighs sadly.
Yeah, I bet.
It hurts because it's true. Okay.
And I'm trying to like get him to say anything or like affirm that I should go to him or like anything basically.
Okay. I mean, I think this is pretty significant, right? So you're trying to. I'm trying to think about the last time you saw the king. You were causing a scene at Alessandra's thing, and he wasn't present for that.
No,
because he was all drunk and sad because his wife was in a coma. I wonder. Yeah, I think we could go a bunch of different ways with this, and like you want him to see you and be like,
I want him
good.
to acknowledge that like I am still in his service, sort of thing. But also like Joy kind of doesn't want that either. It's like this horrible dichotomy of like I'm in this place where every instinct that I have is the instinct of the servant. When she has been not the servant once or twice now, and has a taste for that as well.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely a question. Like I do want you to roll something. We'll figure out what it is, but I definitely think he could go either like, oh, good, that my dog has returned. Neat. Like I thought you were dead, and welcome you back in. Or he could go full on sourpuss and be like, we have no need for joy in this kingdom anymore.
I think what I want to do, is say to him, like while this silence is still going on and everybody's watching or whatever, like people have noticed, and I say to him, do you not think that in this moment of dire need, my services are required more than ever?
Yeah. Okay.
And I want to make that an ugly truth if possible.
Yeah, this isn't just to the king. This is telling everyone.
This is like a declaration, but it's directed at the king.
No, I like that. That's a good way to get what you want. Clever play. Because he's got a very high will, but you're not playing him. You're playing the room. You're like, check it out, everybody. The fool who tells the truth is back, and you need me even if you all hate my fucking guts. Yeah, okay. I dig it. Good work. Let's do that. All right, so this is an ugly truth about like an awkward situation.
Political situation.
I don't know if it's political. It's like, this is an ugly truth. I'm going to call this an ob3 ugly truth.
That's perfect, yeah.
Because it's not nuanced or delicate. Your showing up is like...
Might I fork conspicuous?
Hell yeah.
Good. And I think that's it. Like, that's the only fork I need. Because it's not really a persuade. It's not really a falsehood. It's an ugly truth.
Yeah.
Like,
you're just laying it out for everybody.
It is what it is. So that... And you said ob3? Cool.
Obstacle 3, yes.
Yes!
There you go.
Yes! When it counts!
You didn't blow that one.
When it matters, I can do it.
Yeah. So I think there's that long moment where he looks at you and he welcome back, fool. And he turns to one of his servants and says, clean her up. And he goes away. He like leaves your presence, but he's like, all right, fine, I guess you work here again. And basically the servants will like bring you back in and like, you know, get you dressed up in your clown gear and make sure that you're presentable for the king. And come tomorrow when the court convenes, you will be there sitting on the steps oh man, Alessandra's going to be...
Oh, yes.
Welcome back, Alessandra. Look what I found. It's Joy.
Well, hi there.
Excellent. Okay, great. So you are maybe semi-reluctantly. You both got what you wanted, and maybe are realizing you didn't necessarily want what you wanted.
My sort of come away on that is like, what I want to do is follow the king and speak to him. You know, like and now that he's acknowledged my presence, sort of thing. Like immediately, I don't want to do this whole like wait around till tomorrow, assume my duties thing. Like. This is
because you have a relationship with him, you can just go and see him like later.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what happens, right? Yeah. Like I am accosted by servants and appropriately attired.
Yeah.
And then I go and see him later.
Cool. All right. That sounds good. Okay, cool. Well, let's get back to Lodowick in the meantime. Lodowick, you have plans to enact. What do you want to do? You have the assistance of Tobor the Scribe, who you can pay to make a test on your behalf. Yep. If you'd like. And then I have something that I want to do.
Interesting. Okay. So I would like him to research for me. Which people or businesses hold the largest contracts with the gods?
Okay. So you want him to...
I want him to paint me some targets to either buy or sabotage in some way.
Oh, you know what? I'm looking at the totally random aside thing. I'm looking at the NPCs. I think your friend, the one that we wanted to name Martin, I think he already has a name. I think it's Lars Jansen. I think that's the dude.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'll save Martin Langbrook for something else. Okay, so anyway, I was just looking to see if I had a character sheet open for this guy, which I don't, so I'm going to make one. Okay, so this is Tobor the Scribe. And let's give him a research skill. Because currently that's the only skill he needs to have. And I think he's quite damn good at it.
Yeah, he would have to be to have gotten the data in the first place.
Yeah.
Weirdly, I was looking at the obs for research, and they're not for the breadth of knowledge.
Mhm.
It's about the language that it's based on, which is kind of odd. But
Interesting.
yeah, like the hardest it can be in our language is 3. But maybe you want to.
No, that's cool. I mean, you can always add disadvantage stuff for like really secret information or whatever. Okay, so you want him to assess for you a target, basically, like someone that you could put some pressure on.
Yeah, a target or targets. Yeah, the main thing I want to either control or run out of business somehow.
Okay, and so you want someone. It's interesting because we're going to make a roll to establish that this person exists, and then you can use circles to like set a meeting with them.
Yeah.
So okay, so we need a Carpathian merchant. And sorry, what did you say the qualities were of him? Like, what do you want? Someone who you can buy, or someone?
Well, I imagine it would probably be a business more than a person.
Yeah, in this age, though, businesses are the individual, right? Like you would deal with a person.
The person who has like the main contract for supplying the guards.
Okay. So this guy's likely to be a noble.
Probably. Which is going to be interesting because I have no noble life path to circle him up.
Yeah. So you'll have to find some other way to get at him. Okay. Someone who has the biggest contract with the crown for like weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Okay. So a Carpathian noble. Some lesser like Laric's cousin, probably.
Maybe so.
All right. Cool. All right. So you'll have to pay Tobor for this.
That's fine.
And I think in this case, it's one more than whatever you paid him before. Do you remember what that was when you paid him to do this research, just to gather all the information?
I'm afraid not.
Okay. Yeah, and that was sometime back. Okay, well let's call it let's call it ob 5 for this, because this is part of it is like looking into specific people, and yeah.
Okay.
It's tricky. It's expensive.
Yeah, I'm going to haggle with him first as a link test for resources because I might as well. I need to work on it.
Okay.
Does he have haggling?
I think he must.
Okay. All right, I'm going to put in currency-wise for haggling because we're talking about how much money I'm going to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
And persuasion.
Yeah. Okay. The ob is... Oh, you didn't roll very well. The ob is only 1.
All right.
Okay. So you can talk him down to 4.
Yep, sounds good. That's another routine. Yay. All my skills, I have like routine filled out on everything.
You gotta set your sights higher.
Yeah, I literally do not have a difficult or challenging test on my
You're
sheet.
too good at the stuff you're good at, such that you are never able to get any better.
Well, yeah, you're not doing anything difficult or challenging.
All right, resources. Ob 4. Oh no. So difficult. Sorry.
Roll the damn dice.
When you fail, I'm gonna laugh my ass off.
Not so much. Okay. All right. So you contract him to do this for you, and I will roll Ob 3 research test on your behalf, and he'll go away and he'll come back with someone to he'll put a profile together for you.
Yeah.
So okay, research using the material that he's got, and he's got 2 forks. Okay, so this is pretty easy for him.
I think buying this guy's business is probably going to be a difficult or challenging test eventually.
Okay. All right, so he
That's
does
what
it,
we do.
and I will make a note that Tobor will bring you next session that information.
I keep doing this actually. I'm like, and now next session I need something. And that's the end of this.
Well, that's the thing, is that like the individual rolls you're making don't have they're so low stakes for you that it's hard to get persona, because accomplishing stuff requires doing interesting things, but it's hard to do interesting things when you have all these like little goals in front of you, these little things that you need to work through. So
Yeah, lots of prep.
Exactly.
It's hard. You want to throw money at things, but it's the finding where to apply money that's more difficult than
Exactly.
money.
Okay. Excellent. All right. So I've got a note here for that. So, yeah, I think that in this case, he sets off to do that. And sort of night falls, and you're in your house, you're doing your paperwork and managing your funds and doing all that stuff. And there is a startling sound from downstairs, like a bang at the door.
Oh, I suddenly realized that I don't have Oberon, so I'm quite frightened. Looking around in my office, what would I have to like hit an intruder with?
Right. You look around for something like heavy. I don't know. I mean, you have like bottles, probably. Like you have like a wine bottle or
A
something.
gold brick.
A bag of coins.
A straight up satchel of gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll grab like a big wine bottle or like a port bottle or something. Those always seem, in my head, they always made of really thick glass, so they'd be good at like bonking people with.
Yeah. Candlestick, letter opener, all good options. Okay. So, and then what do you do?
I mean, I do the everybody's late night hear a sound downstairs, creep to the top of the stairs to try and like see if I can see anything without turning on the lights.
And you don't have like a bunch of servants in your house, right? Like Ludwig doesn't strike me as the person to be surrounded by. Okay, so you're by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like normally my sister and Oberon would live here, but they're by
So the downstairs, like it's quiet and cold. You don't heat the rooms you're not in. And you just see I mean, I guess it'd be dark. So you just hear the like bang against the door again, like a heavy thump. Like wine bottle and like I guess your candle on the other hand.
Is this an appropriate test for observation, or is that looking for things that are hidden?
That's looking for hidden things, yeah. I mean, all you can currently perceive is that something heavy has been like banged up against the door a couple of times.
Is there like a window I can try and like open on the top floor and like peek around to the front door?
Probably not. Like I don't think there's necessarily like I don't think that the house would be arranged that way. Like you're standing on a landing on the second floor and you're looking down at the little like entrance area.
Yeah.
So you can see the front door.
All right. I mean, I creep down the stairs and like try and grab like a candle or something from a wall sconce on the way down.
Yeah, I mean,
like
I figured
maybe...
you'd carried one out of your office with you.
Yes. Okay. And does it sound like whoever it is or whatever it is has already come in, or are they still in the other?
No, the door's shut. You can see the door. You saw it like jar when something like banged up against it.
So he puts on his best brave voice and he goes, once he gets down to the other side of the door, he's like, who's there?
You don't hear anything.
And I what do I do? Oh no, all I have is money.
Just hide under a pile of money. Lock yourself in
I
your
mean,
own
that's what I'm
safe.
thinking about. I'm thinking like he's gonna look for somewhere downstairs to like hide in case they try and come in. But he's like a big guy. It's gonna be difficult. But he's scared. He's probably not gonna open the door.
You hear outside the sound of like jingling, like metal, and then like a clattering sound, like something of like some metal being dropped, like someone has emptied their coin purse onto the floor or something, like they dropped something, and then there's another thump against the door, and then a scraping sound, and then silence. Now down here, you could probably go to a window and open it and look outside if you wanted.
Yeah, I want to try and do that.
Okay, cool. So you approach the shuttered window. You can hear the wind outside, like howling by.
Oh man, I need a backup bodyguard. I'll hire another one.
I really like how chat is picking up without either of us having to say anything. The like Christmas Carol vibe that we got going on here. Right? You hear the jingling of chains. You're like Jacob Marley. It's So
Yeah.
it's good. It's good. So you approach the window. The window is like rattling slightly from the wind.
Yeah, and I open it.
Okay, you throw open the sash and you look outside, and kneeling by the door, with his forehead pressed against the door, the snow around him bloodied red, and his keys, the key he has to the house, lying in the snow near him. You see the unconscious body of Oberyn.
Good God, and I run over to the front door.
Okay.
And I open it.
Okay, when you open it, he tumbles into the room. Snow and wind blow through. Your candle flickers. He's unconscious and badly hurt. You can see, if you look back, you can see blood in the snow, like going out in the moonlight. Like he's staggered here.
Yeah. I try and pick him up and like move him somewhere.
Like pick him up and bring him inside.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's a bit of a struggle, but you do. Yeah, you pull him inside. You notice that his scabbard is empty. He appears to have been stabbed, but like without disrobing him at all, you can't tell. His hands, there's enough blood that it is frozen and is like crusted on his clothes. So he was stabbed at least long enough ago for his blood to cool and freeze. And you like pull him inside, and like set him down, and then what do you do? And he's like lying on his back.
I head outside and I like begin to shout. I am like, help! I need a doctor. Help!
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you're like just shouting into the wind. I guess, do you want to circle as like a good Samaritan?
Yeah, I want to circle the solution to this because I don't have one.
Yeah. Okay. So what
Okay.
would you like to circles up?
I would like to circles up.
A local youth to act as a runner.
You
Yeah,
there,
like-
boy. What day is
Yeah.
it today?
What day is it today?
That was
That's-
Scrooge making a circles roll to find someone who'll go buy him a turkey.
Yeah,
Someone who will
I
tell
think
him
I
what day it is.
I think I
Sorry.
want a person who I can be like, here are some money, go and bring me back a doctor. Have the rest of the money when you come back, so you don't steal my goddamn money.
Okay, so you're gonna make an ob one test to circles up someone who will be willing to like have you pay them to go and find a nurse or a doctor or something.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. Make that roll.
Okay. I don't think I'm adding anything to this. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Wow, that's a... Oh.
So, I think that this person has to be like they're in your neighborhood. So this is like I think it's like one of the children, not like little kids, but like adult children of one of the other like merchants that lives in this relatively nice neighborhood.
Right.
And he is passing by on his way home with his wife, and he stops, and maybe you know each other through his father. Maybe his father is like in the Seat of Silver, or like is a merchant that you've done business with once or twice. And he comes running up, and he's and he's kind of showing off for his wife, like, ooh, someone's in danger. And he says, he looks around, sees all the blood, and sees Oberyn lying on the floor, and he says to you, what's happened, sir?
I'm not sure, but my friend is badly hurt. I need a doctor or a physician, whoever's closest, whoever's the best. I don't. Quickly, if you can, please. Do you know anybody? Can you fetch anyone?
And he says, one of my father's tenants is a nun. I'm sure she'll be able to help.
Yes, of course. Please, if you fetch her for me, and he's like frantic, and he like looks
fumbling some gold at him.
Gold. I'll give you gold.
Yeah, he's just like, please, here, take my money. Okay. Do you have cash on you?
I sure do.
Okay. All right. How many cash dice do you give him?
Well, I mean, I've got 2 cash die, but I can't only give like one of those, can I?
Yeah, you can. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I'll give him. I'll give you this now, and I'll fetch some more when you bring her back.
Yeah, and he's not such a good Samaritan that he's going to be like, no, you don't have to pay me for. He's just like, he takes it and doesn't say anything, and then runs, and then he runs off with his wife. He's like, come on, let's go, and they head off to go and get this nun that can come back and help.
Yeah, then I probably, like, because I'm not sure whether he'll have pegged exactly where my house is, I probably like leave the door open.
Sure.
And I go back in, and I like take Oberyn's hand as he's like unconscious, and I'm doing the stereotypical, I don't know what to do with an unconscious person. I don't know how bandages work because I'm a like random person in the Middle Ages. Well,
yeah. You're like, I don't have any leeches.
Yeah, so I'm just like, Oberyn, speak to me, come back to me, my boy.
Yeah, so you kneel there in the cold, and like the freezing wind blowing through your house, snow starting to pile up, Oberyn lying on his back, his eyes closed. You can't really tell if he's still bleeding or not. For all you know, he could just be dead. But you were hoping that he isn't, waiting for this nun to come.
Like I figure back these times, I'm not even like versed enough to check if he's breathing by his pulse or whatever.
Yeah,
I
you don't have any medical skills at all, right?
None.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well.
Oh no, I have peasant wise. He was technically a peasant, so.
I mean, peasant-wise isn't going to help tell if a peasant is dying.
Yes. I have a check on all peasant vitals, please.
Exactly, vitals-wise. Is he dying-wise? Live damn you-wise. Okay, let me see, because he's taken an injury, and I think a fairly serious one, because he got jumped by a bunch of goons. Let's see about his healing. So I think the scene passes quickly, right? In that the first scene is you looking at him, like hoping that he's alive, but not knowing what to do, him dying on your floor. blood continuing to pool around him and seeping into the very expensive floorboards. And then you'll later have a hard time remembering the order in which these things happen. The noble comes back with a woman that, if this were a TV show, astute viewers will recognize from the scene with Agatha. It's one of the other women that was like doing the apothecary stuff with Agatha. Older woman, and she arrives and sort of pushes you out of the way, like you're just in the way, and you stand covered in Oberyn's blood, watching kind of helplessly as she tends to him. So let me find the recovering from being stabbed rules. Here we go, anatomy of injury, and we'll see how he does. All right, so treatment. You cannot recover from midi through a mortal wound until you've been treated. I think he took a midi wound. She has herbalism, I think. And I'll say she has herbalism 3. And probably 2 or 3 things to fork. Like field dressing or something.
All right, none. You got this. I believe in you.
All right, so let's give her 6 dice.
Can I like assist in any way? Like anything she asked me to bring, I'll like run off and do.
I don't think so. I don't think you don't have the appropriate skills to help out.
Oh yeah, you have to help with a skill.
Yeah, I believe so. Okay, so these will be extra successes for him. So the ob is 4. Why did I roll d4s? He dies. He totally dies because of d4s. Let me roll it again. There we go. That's better. Oh wow, she's actually really good.
Really good.
Because I'm playing her. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the 6 dice are successes. Which means that she gets the extra successes or an advantage on his health test. So she treats him, and he's going to get an extra die. So let's see for recovery. Okay, so let's see how long it takes for him to get better. To recover from a midi wound, it's an ob 3 health test. So let's pop open your boy here. Ob 3, but he's got a +1. His health is 5. He's a healthful young lad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, base ob is 3. And let's see. It'll take 2 to 12 weeks for him to recover from this midi wound, provided he can get the test. Which he can, just barely.
Oh, my poor boy. My beautiful boy.
So if it weren't for this nun, he would have died. He would have certainly gotten worse and potentially died, right? Like he wouldn't have recovered. So it's going to take 2 to 12 weeks.
Yeah.
All right, it's going to take 6 weeks for him to recover. But he recovers the first die now, so he's at like a -1 wound penalty for everything that he does. I'll let you adjust his character sheet accordingly.
Okay.
And he has no extra successes on the health test. So there we go. Okay. So Oberyn will live, and I think we have this scene later where this news is delivered to you, right? Like he's in another room now. You've put him in bed, and the nun comes out, and she's got her sleeves of her like habit rolled up, and she's got a smear of blood on her face, and her hands are like she's wiping them with a towel when she comes out. And obviously the noble and his wife took your money and were like, "Cool, thanks, good luck, bye."
Yep.
And she comes out and she says to you, "By the grace of the angels, he will recover in time."
Oh, thank you so much. I was so very worried. Thank you. Is there anything I can do to repay you? He means so much to me. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't been here.
She says, I am but a servant of the angels' will. They are the ones that you must thank. And she like puts her hand on your shoulder. She's like cleaned her hands off, but you're covered in blood anyway. Like I assume you haven't have you just been nervously pacing the hall, like waiting to see what happened?
Yeah. I don't think he deals with stress well.
Yeah. So she puts her hand on your shoulder and she says, we have a church, a place where the angels' blessed song is sung. You should come. Give thanks to them there. And she tells you where it is.
Yes, of course. I'll be as soon as seems I can leave him. I'll come.
And she says, best to let him rest as long as you can. Young men like that, he'll want to get up and be in fighting shape again soon, but encourage him to rest. And she's trying to figure out your relationship with him. Like, she doesn't want to be like your son because she doesn't know that, but she's just kind of like, take care of him.
Yes. I'll make sure he doesn't do whatever happened to him again. He'll be under my watchful gaze. And that is when he twigs that his sister isn't there because he's been way too busy freaking out.
Right. So we see that look, and she thanks you and she tells you angels bless you, and she leaves, and you're like at the door watching her go out into the snow, and Oberyn's frozen blood is still scattered about the floor or about the entrance, and then the camera kind of pans to Lodewik's face, and that's when you realize uh-oh.
That moment of eyes wideness.
Yeah.
You find a note on Oberyn's body that is made with different sections of tapestry, letters cut away, that says, leave money in.
Yeah, we got your sister. So, so she's indeed missing. So we see that shot of Lodewik's face.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut over, and I wanna make sure we have time for doing. We'll probably not take another break before the end because we've only got 45 minutes for the end of the episode. We're gonna need 20 minutes to discuss beliefs and do rewards. So let's do one more thing, and I think Agatha needs an opportunity to do another thing. Agatha and or Alessandra, depending on how quickly they are. Agatha, what do you do after your meeting with Alessandra? Because I know where Alessandra's going. I know where Lodewijk is going potentially. I know where Joy is going. We can do a scene with all of them. But Agatha, I want to know what you're up to. What's your jam?
So there is a unconscious Serica in the care of the choir.
She's probably conscious by now, but has a concussion. She
I'm gonna go check on her and help her out.
Okay,
that's my plan.
All right. So you find you walk in and you find in a little sort of de facto a place where injured folk or sick folk are tended to. There's a cot, and this noble is lying in it or on it, and sitting on a stool next to her is Sister Sufferance, and Sufferance is holding her hand and just petting it and kind of talking quietly to her as one might a frightened kitten. And when you you can approach however you want, but that's what you see.
Yeah, slowly because I'm fucking blind. Walk down the line, but I can hear Sufferance's murmurs of reassurance, and so I kind of hone in on that.
Yeah, and so she's just basically saying to her oh, you took a little fall, you'll be all right. I'm sure your head hurts quite a lot, but it'll get better. Nasty fall. Something startled you. And then
my
so she's just kind of explaining to her
shadow,
why the shadow falls over across Serica.
Yeah. And I put a hand on Sufferance to assure myself of my position.
And yeah, so she stops. Sufferance stops, and she looks and she says, "Oh, hello, sister."
Hello.
The poor dear took a tumble when they came in the room. I think she's a Corvidae. She came in with the woman you were speaking to.
This is the Lady Serica of Corvidae. Her last name's Corvidae, right?
Yeah.
Right, Bluge?
No, her last name's Cristata.
Oh, Cristata. Right. She's a lesser Corvidae, yeah.
Right, so yeah.
You know that.
Agatha gets it right. She says, Lady Serica Cristata.
And
an attendant to the Queen once upon a time, and later to Lady Alessandra.
And to her, not you, she says, "Oh, the queen, that must have been so nice. I've seen the queen once or twice before. Dreadful shame what happened to her." And she's just kind of like soothingly saying nothing, essentially, to this girl to keep her calm.
She's rolling soothing platitudes.
Yeah. And Serica is lying there with her her eyes closed, and she's like conscious, but she's just like, "Oh, my head." And she like doesn't recognize your voice, obviously, but
and so I think like my familiar has come through the room, and like there's a stool nearby for one of the other cots.
yeah, or it's like hopped up on the foot of the bed or something.
And so Agatha just like pulls the stool over so that she can sit down as well, that her familiar just like spots for her. So she just kind of like reaches behind her, grabs a stool, sits down. Being at court it's not nice. Sufferance. In all likelihood, Alessandra put her there to spy on the queen. And she like crosses her arms and like is like fixing Serica with a look.
Yeah. Sufferance looks at you like, "You want me to leave? Like, do I need to, like, what are you doing here? What do you want?"
And yeah, so Agatha will continue. We should welcome our new sister into the fold. Help her recover. Help her find a place here.
What do you mean?
She's staying with us.
You get a look that clearly indicates that she doesn't understand.
And I assume that like this conversation happened off camera, because I know we didn't explicitly like between.
I mean, I don't know that it did. Like, I feel like Alessandra was just like, "Here's my trash," and fucked off.
I went to talk to the Robolard.
Yeah, so Agatha, you don't really like,
or so I don't know.
You know she's been abandoned, basically. That Alessandra walked off and isn't here taking care of her. But yeah, we can roll back. Yeah,
roll back.
I thought that I mentioned that Serica would be staying. Like there was one sentence.
It was mentioned offhand, but never clearly like outlined.
Yeah. Okay, well. Fuck it. Agatha's barreling forward with this assumption.
Sure. Okay.
How about that? And so she'll continue. Well, at the very least, she'll be part of the church now, joining the choir, if nothing more. But I expect that Alessandra has had her fill of this one. And she looks at Serica, not unsympathetically.
Mm-hmm.
And then like sets about trying to help.
Yeah, like she's not really injured. She just got like shook up. She'll recover from banging her head on the floor.
So yeah, I don't know if there is a skill to be rolled as far as that goes, but she'll like do some general caretaking stuff.
Like Serica knows that she's staying here. It's all happening quite unceremoniously, so she'll be upset about it later. But she is yeah, I mean, I think she's sort of in and out of like paying attention, because as soon as she sees you again, she's gonna freak out.
Yeah, and so I want to actually like bridge that distance a little bit and start chipping away at it.
Okay.
Because Adam, a witch needs a coven.
I know. I'm aware. So how do you do that?
Well, so I think me helping to take care of her is going to be helpful. In that it will like recontextualize me, and also having like, you know, the thing where if you're like meeting someone's dog and they respond well to you, the dog is going to respond. Well, it's one of those things of like, well, sufferance is like hang out with me like I'm a normal person, so then it'll feel more normal.
So yeah, it occurs to you two things. Yeah, you could do this the hard way, and like she's gonna eventually see, like, come around and recognize you and probably get upset again and be scared of you and all that. But you can work on that. Or you could probably like use magic to make her forget, or like change her brain so that she doesn't, like, she sees you as a new thing, a new person, instead of like this source of terror. No, I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying that's a thing that you have the capability to do.
Yeah, I don't quite want to go there yet. Sure. I think I have some ideas about how I want to use magic to help deal with her trauma that Andrew know that she has experienced. I'm Agata doesn't want to go all in right away. I think she is still more interested in the idea of like building community here. Like,
yeah, of course.
That more subtle magic of making friends and community within this structure that she can then leverage later. So
okay. Well, let's have you make a it's not soothing platitudes is like talking to chill somebody out. I think this is just like doing like if you have a medical skill of some kind,
yeah,
like tending
apothecary.
Yeah. So you like bring her some soothing tea or
and yeah, it's the like low level stuff of like this will be a nice calming thing.
And she's all gooned and confused, right? She banged her head and she doesn't really like even if she looks at you, she hasn't quite gotten well enough to recognize you. So why don't you we'll make it like a linked test that you may not cash in on yet, but like this is the hey, I'm caring for you, and then later she'll have that to remember as well.
So would you say this is roughly equivalent to medicine that would stop itching or easier than that? Just making some like soothing tea.
Yeah, let me look at the apothecary test here.
Yeah, it's stop itching, ob 2, cure warts, ob 3.
Like medicine to alleviate pain, like it's ob 3.
That's +1 ob of pain. That's like
but +1 ob is just a superficial wound, like banging your head on the floor.
Cool.
So yeah, I think that's reasonable, and you get the freebie of like the other thing that it's also a link test. So you'll make her feel better, and the social aspect of her remembering and thinking positively of you for later when you want to persuade or actually soothe her when she gets upset.
Okay.
Also, you can kind of make her like a little bit stoned because then she won't like experience that emotion as aggressively.
Yeah. All right. So I will roll my apothecary skill. I will fork in astrology, and I will fork in. Is it fair to fork foraging here for knowledge of like the right herbs and whatnot to use in such a remedy?
I don't think so. I think foraging would be like the test you'd make before this. Let me check the official forks.
What does it list for forks? It says herbalism
Yes.
as its official fork.
That would be the one you were looking for, what you just described. For
yeah,
foraging.
exactly. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, then
you could get a helping die from one of the other like women. Right?
Well,
you're not alone. Yeah,
is sufferance going to help?
Yeah, sufferance can help.
Okay, cool. Well, that'll do then. Let's roll.
Right. Ob 3.
I just don't want to fuck it up.
I know. If you fail, I think probably it just doesn't help. She just thinks you're a weird witch and she won't drink the tea. Maybe she knocks it out of your hand.
Oh, also, I'm still wounded and I have to grit my teeth first.
Okay, yeah, do that first.
It's ob 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Please let me grit my teeth. Oh, whoops! I just put in 4 as my bonus dice. That would have been nice.
That'd be nice.
Didn't do it.
Okay, you do not grit your teeth.
Give me 6s.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, still weary and wounded is Agatha. So I'm rolling
ancient wolf weary bullet wound.
So 1 mod. I'm gonna spend a persona point on this one. No, maybe on the next roll. Yeah, on this one.
Okay, sure.
And base ob is 3, and I'll get a.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Nice to do it. Let me roll my astrology die in case it's gonna ruin it.
Yeah, that's true. No,
it doesn't ruin it.
But what's cool here is that you got a 4 of the 3, and this is a link test, so it's going to be a +1 to the next test. So here's what happens: you spend some time making her a tea, and she takes it, and kind of Sister Sufferance helps her sit up, and she drinks the tea, and it eases the pain in her head, and kind of like makes her go from confused and upset and nauseated to like calms her stomach, and the pain dulls a little, and she's like a little stoned now, but. I think that's when she sees you finally, and we see her kind of like take a deep breath and like clutch the cup in a bit of fear.
Can I be drinking this tea also?
Yeah, totally.
Because it'll help me because I'm also
in
pain.
Right. Help you.
I think the sharing of it will make this better too.
Yeah, and I think you see her like the cot is against the wall, and you see her back against the wall, and kind of like her body language like closes up a little, and she's going kind of she's on the edge of like fight or flight. Right. You sense the tension.
And just like very flatly, like holding this little like earthenware cup in her hands. she'll say to Serica, you and I may have cause to work together. I would not want that to be painful or troubling to you.
But
And she like sips.
but you're the witch. You're the one. He asked me questions. Where were you? What happened? Said that it was my fault that you'd gotten away. If you were there, he would have done it to you instead. And you can see her like shaking, and like the tea is like spilling onto her dress.
Yeah, and so she like reaches out. She puts her tea down and reaches out a hand to just like steady hers and like hold her hand to the cup and steady it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think she would flee, but she has nowhere to go. So she like tries to pull away from you and spills a bunch more tea on herself.
Yeah, and her, Agatha's like bony fingers like close around her hands and hold them there, and she locks blind eyes with hers, and just says, "He will find cause to hurt anyone and everyone. His job is not to find the truth; it's to hurt people. And he's gone now, and there's just me and you. We don't have to suffer like that anymore. We don't have to let anyone treat us like that anymore." And I'm gonna persuade her to like.
I mean, I don't know. This feels like soothing platitudes more than persuade, because like persuade is you're trying to get her to do something. Soothing platitudes is just to like get her to not live in fear and terror. Like persuade would be the next thing.
All right. Well, I will roll soothing platitudes. I get bonus dice.
You have you have the die.
I don't have the skill, so
you have help too. Sister Sufferance is there to like keep her calm.
And what is soothing platitudes based in? You know, I can look it up.
Okay, I'll check her will.
Yes, that would also be good to know.
It is only 2. She has a will of 2. She's
yeah. I figured she would not be
fairly low will.
All right, we're almost there. Song of Soothing. That's not the one. Here we go. Based in will. Okay, great. Well, at least I'm off to a good start as far as that goes. So I get 1 bonus die or 2 bonus dice from my linked test.
1 bonus die from the link test, 1 bonus die from your friend.
Okay, great. And the ob is 2.
Yes, but if you don't have soothing platitudes, it'll go up. But you still blow it out of the water.
Nice.
Good. Nice rolling. Good at role playing. Yeah. Okay. So she calms down and seems to accept, at least for the moment, that this is her life for now, and that you're not to be, that the Magus was bad, and that she doesn't trust you yet, but she isn't afraid of you exactly.
I just don't want her to displace blame for what he did to her to me. This is like we're going to separate all that stuff out as a first step.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. And this is the kind of thing where when we talk about beliefs, you could definitely write a belief about like therapy for Serica.
I think she's going to be clause 2 of my coven belief now. Sure. Like I'm going to work on her first.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, cool. So the 2 of you, and Sufferance, maybe you catch it, maybe you don't, but Sufferance watches you treat her like with this sort of firm gentleness, and you can see her like observing you carefully. We see her in the background kind of just like watching you do this.
Because I'm also working on Sufferance.
Yeah, you're setting an example for her.
Doing, come on.
Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. So Alessandra, do you just want to go and talk to Robillard and be like, yo, bye, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Hey.
Because it's more just like you want to show up and be like, you need to take care of Serica. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's save that short conversation for next time, because I don't want to start it and have it go a direction we don't expect and not have room for it.
Yep, that's totally fine.
So let's we'll hand out some fate, and we'll talk about beliefs for next time, and then we can continue next week. Joy. The real thing to remember is all the exciting rolls you got to fail today. That's the best part. All that advancement.
I'm never gonna roll 5 on anything again, because it's like an unlucky number that ends with 0 for me, like all the time. I rolled 5 dice twice and got no successes on both.
There is that delightful clip from Blades.
Yeah, I rolled 4 ones.
Yeah.
All right. So belief number 1, you have accomplished it. It is done.
Yes.
You did it.
I pay them a visit and let my former master know I still live. It's done.
It's done. The king knows you're alive, and welcome back. You're the jester again. For the
My
time
new
being.
belief is from my low station, I will figure out a way to make the king treat me like a human. There.
Big goals.
Boom. Now I still have my return to the castle will be on my terms. I kind of played against that a little bit in terms of like I believe a lot of things, but none of them were very helpful.
I mean, like I think it was interesting watching you struggle with that, but that one might get sidelined from your other one because you don't need to dedicate 2 full belief slots.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Okay. So what else you got going on?
We'll make this one.
I mean, you could write a belief about
much as I enjoy the castle or the estate, I must still report back something useful.
Right.
To Ekaterina.
So do you want it to be about the reporting or the finding of something to report?
I think it's the reporting, but I'll have to have something to report to do it, right?
So why not instead let me rephrase this.
Find something to report
start
back?
Start with like I'm in the estate on Ekaterina's command. I'll find something to report back to her. Right? Like you're here for a reason, not just to
Yeah, you gotta get the dirt.
Katerina's command. I'll find something to report back to her. Yeah, that's good. I like that. And I still have to speak to Soren. Haven't done that yet. So that's
yes, and now you have the opportunity to do so. But
still good.
Okay.
And then instinct wise, it's fine. I didn't really use any of them. There were
you used your instinct and it got you in trouble.
I guess, yeah.
Always having a knife where no one can see it and then pulling it out suddenly, that was instinctive and it did not go great for you.
That's true.
So yeah, I think definitely.
Yeah, fate for that.
Yep.
Okay. And what about my natural bootlicking tendencies? I get punched and then I basically just like apologize.
I think you licked a boot slightly too late. It was after the punching.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think your traits helped you in these cases to get out of trouble, but yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for me then.
Cool. Good stuff. You're back in the safety zone. You got Persona. All right. Agatha, did you accomplish any of your beliefs? I know you got fate for a couple of them. Your first one's accomplished, right?
Yeah, it didn't quite play out the way I wanted to, but like I did the best. Like this is resolved, is what I would say.
Yeah, you're her. You are going to advise her. You've resumed your role, just not in the way necessarily you wanted to.
Yeah, so there's going to be something new there, but I'll take a Persona for that.
Okay. Well, so we're going to work on the beliefs for next time. So what do you want to do now? So
what do I want to do now? So
Alessandra's important to the cult. You're important to the cult. Robillard is. Alessandra has said
important to the cult.
Alessandra has said we can be friends only in secret.
So I think now my goal is just to like be like she has washed her hands of me, and my goal is to do the same back. Is to just like give her what I owe her and be even Steven and done. Because she doesn't really want to work with me. She wants to like keep me at arm's length and not really
I mean the real thing you owe her is magic, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to focus on fulfilling your promise, that could be the thing. Like I will come up with a way to use my sacred arts to like advantage Alessandra, right? So you could just pick a thing and be like, I want to magic spell that.
I'm starting to see an interesting pattern here.
Or that
people who could be friends with and allies with Alessandra just doing what they're beholden to and then leaving because she's a jerk.
Right, exactly. I will do exactly
a lesson that she will have to learn.
I will do exactly the minimum of what is required of me so that she won't get mad because I broke my word. But anyway, that's an option.
Alessandra and I can be friends
so,
now that I'm back.
Yeah.
I will weave a spell for Alessandra to aid her claim on the throne and free myself of this obligation.
Yeah, that sounds good. You could conjure up some money that she could give to Lodowick, and then you're both free of your obligations.
I mean, I think probably what I'm going to do is just be like cursing some people with being respectful of women or something to lubricate.
Yeah, I feel like
My actions for her or
Alessandra will
something.
probably have some ideas about
She'll
this.
have some stuff she needs,
Yeah.
and so I just have to ask her. And
So what you can do is once we have Alessandra's updated beliefs, you could look at one of those and try to use magic to help accomplish it.
use magic to enact it. Yeah, that's
Okay.
the goal. Survival is the only morality. The traditions and the people must survive this cursed winter. I worked towards this one. It has not been accomplished. It's kind of a longer arc goal that involves ending the cursed winter. It just gets at that for this other reason. It's not just to end it. It's to see that this group, it's an escort quest now. Everyone's favorite.
Yep.
But my attempt to try to like dovetail in all the stuff around like incorporating the traditions of the wood into the angel cult is still ongoing, all that kind of stuff. So lastly, a witch needs a coven. I will gather like-minded women in the cult to my side.
Okay.
Working on it.
Now,
especially that last scene, especially. But even in reaching out to Alessandra, this was part of this idea as well.
Yeah. Do you want to take the fate for it and then rewrite this belief so that you could get a specific?
I'm gonna write a second clause around Serica.
Yeah. So I would say like a witch needs a coven, and then get rid of the gather like-minded women part and change that to like specifically who will be the first person you induct into your coven.
Yeah, like Serica can learn the old ways and perhaps be a friend.
Okay.
Because really this is about having friends. You gotta have, your knitting. Some people have a knitting circle or a bridge club. I have a coven.
Yeah.
It's more or less the same.
I think a coven requires like multiple witches though, and these are not none of those, but eventually.
Well, they
I'm
could
gonna make them into witches. And like witchcraft is both a practice and is magic and is, there's like the various layers and levels of it. And I think it would be nice to have a bunch of other like sorcerers. Sure, but she'll settle for having some people that are taking part in kind of this traditional practice.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense.
Can you spirit bind ungifted? Like you can summon ungifted.
No, you need
spirit
specific
binding
traits for spirit binding.
Spirit binding doesn't need gifted, it needs other traits, which I just also happen to have.
Yeah, the only magic you can perform is without any kind of gift is summoning, which is great because summoning is just like asking the wrong people for things.
Summoning's cost lies elsewhere. Never put something back in the wrong place and always speak truth to power. Did not get me in trouble.
No,
I was really blunt and direct with Alessandra, but she's actually one of the few people with whom that is good.
Yeah, right. It's been kind of working.
Like in terms of traits, like I played into respectful of women in how I treated with Alessandra again, and with Serica and Sufferance and everyone. Like she is leaning into this more, or I was leaning into this more this past episode, which I'm happy that I'm able to go in that direction now.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Spooky or Inscrutable got in the way a little bit because of Serica's reaction to me. I feel like if I weren't a spooky witch.
That was specifically about like your behavior though. Like if you had played it up, if you had been like it was hindering you, like you played down the spookiness.
I guess that's true.
On purpose to try to overcome it. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, fair. That's the only one I could even see. So
yeah, that's fine. Cool. All right. Alessandra.
All right, I found my mouse.
Hi. Hello. Okay.
Yeah. So, I think that the old queen's influence needs to be purged. I will secure the loyalty of her inner circle or undermine their power is good.
Yep.
That one I'm happy with. The other two I'm less happy with still. I feel like there is a belief about I think that those are both directions that like those two things are things to be focused on. I might need to create something with joy, but I'm not sure how that'll go yet. In terms of like how the scene works out when I find out that Joy's back at court and stuff like that. So I don't know.
So
if
you could always blank out a slot and then write a belief after the scene you interact with Joy. Right. So you could have the scene and be like, okay, Joy's back. Now I got to write a belief about it. Do you want to do that?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I'm less focusing on Soren and blank that one out. And then I've agreed to introduce Robelard's worship of angels to the court, but I will do so on my own terms. Maybe there's something about like educating herself about it so that she knows exactly what she's gotten into.
Yeah. So change I will do so on my own terms to like first I will learn its canon, right? Like you got to know what you're introducing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I have never allow anyone to treat me below my station, which I'm not sure if that did
I think
anything.
everybody was pretty respectful of you, and I didn't see that get in the way.
Yeah. There was no real violence towards my person. I didn't really meet with a new member of the court. I think independent. I got what I succeeded on the roll with Agatha, so I don't think that.
Yeah, your independence wasn't. I think Agatha like appreciates that in a way, even if you're like telling her to back off. She's like, "Yeah, good. Have a will of your own."
Yeah, no, that's like really that's part of why she likes and is willing to support your character.
Yeah, so I'm not sure that I got anything.
Okay, that's fine. I think that is okay. And Lodwick.
Yeah, gonna make some changes.
I suspect as much. So, you get fate for the first one because that's your current like big plan.
Yep.
Okay.
Nothing for my second one.
Okay.
Nothing for my third one. Because I hadn't started yet.
Yeah. And do you want to change your third one?
Yes.
Okay. What would you like it to be?
I'm gonna change all three of them actually.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. Just checking quickly the instincts and the traits because we'll do those first. And then
Okay, you want to do those first? Sure.
Yeah. I don't think any of my instincts got me in trouble. I think the only trait I can see potentially getting me in trouble is letting this acquaintance know my plans was forward. Because that's like blunt and honest. And that's going to get me
I
in
feel
trouble.
like it wasn't even forward. It was more like I agree you should get a point, but I think it's more like idealistic, where you were like, the strength of my conviction, my like awesome plan to do good is so strong that why would anyone not believe me, right? Like,
Oh, that's yeah. No, that sounds better.
okay,
Okay,
so I'll give you a fate for that.
let's
It's
get
like
rid of
I'm making notes like crazy.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
I think that probably covers it.
I think so.
Okay.
So. Let's get.
So yeah, let's talk about your new beliefs.
Okay, so I think actually we're just going to put an addendum on the first belief. To prevent bloodshed, I will control the weapons market in Carpathia. I will make a deal with or buy this target my researcher finds.
Okay.
So whoever that is, I'm going to deal with them one way or the other.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. It's a good belief to have.
I'm going to change my second one because as much as I like it, I think this will be a really nice way to reflect the most recent change. So I still understand the suffering of the peasants and lowborn, and I will still work towards bettering their lives, though I will do so through creating safety and restoring order to the kingdom.
Okay.
Yeah. The violence has gone from being a problem that they are dealing with to a personal thing that has affected him.
Yeah.
And so I think that reflected in the belief he already held, and slightly shifting the direction of it as opposed to being a new one is quite interesting.
Yeah. Changing your approach to it. I like that.
Yes.
So
It's already on the right track. It's just going to be subtle shifts and like extra aggression, I think, in pursuing Luke's goals.
do you want to change your instinct about never going anywhere without Oberyn?
Yes, I do need to change that as well.
I mean, you don't have to. You can just be feeling bad about it all the time.
Yeah, no, I think I will change it. We'll put the third one in first, which is I will find out what happened to my sister,
Sure. Yeah.
because that's now that he's realized he feels guilty that he didn't realize instantly, and also he is concerned.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And we'll see, depending on the amount of screen time we get, whether I just find it out or whether I start doing things to fix it.
Okay. Cool.
Depending on how the scenes are a while.
That sounds good to me. Cool. All right, so we're squared away for next time.
Yeah, except that instinct.
Yeah, you can. Do you have an instinct that you want to use right away, or do you want to take some time? Because beliefs are more important for me between sessions than instincts are. So if you have something that you can jump to,
I'll have a little think about
Okay.
it then. If
yeah, ponder it. Excellent. Okay, cool. All right. Well, let's close the doors on today's episode. Why don't we begin with Elf? Elf, when you are not here being an entertaining, sniveling toady, where can we find you?
Can also find me busting out of closets on twitch.tv/distractedelf or on Twitter @distractedelf. Those are two places that you can find.
Excellent. Good stuff. How about you, the witch Andrew?
You can join my coven at twitch.tv/actualfactual or twitter.com at commuting crow, whatever the fuck how Twitter works.
You were doing it. That's still the URL. You were getting it.
Okay, yeah. If you go to twitter.com, which is a website on the internet, which is a series of tubes that data flows through on trucks.
Powered by Benjamin Franklin's undead corpse.
Tonight, I'm going to be on twitch.tv/actualplay playing my game Girl by Moonlight, which is a Blades in the Dark hack about tragic magical girls. And tomorrow, before Tomb of Annihilation, I'm going to be on a very special internet place talking about gay stuff. Actually, it's going to be me going on a massive political rant about trans things. So get ready.
Sweet. And when is that happening? Tomorrow before?
Yeah, tomorrow, 2 hours before Tomb.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's over on Ashley Nova's channel.
Yeah.
We're
Nice.
some
Gonna be good.
trans agenda at a weird time.
Cool. I'm into it. I'm gonna watch that. Dave, who has become an evil wizard in the time that we have started these things. Dark Lord Dave, where can people find you being edgy and cool?
Yeah, you can find me at Twitch at Dave_human and on Twitter at Dave_the_human. And yeah, you should come and watch D&D tomorrow as well because I'm pretty excited for that.
As am I.
Yeah,
And
I've been thinking a lot about D&D. I did that bad behavior thing of like, oh, I'm excited about D&D, so I'm gonna make like 6 characters.
oh no,
Even though I can't play them.
don't do
Because I
that.
have a character who I like, but oh, well, I did it.
Discipline, Dave. Well, last but not least, coming to us live from a strange new location, it's Blue Jay. Blue Jay, where can people find you when you're not here being a villainous noble?
You can find me being a villainous noble on twitch.tv/bluejay, on Twitter at bluejay_712. You can find me on Instagram and Patreon at bluejay712. I just have a lot of numbers. You can also find me tomorrow with these nerds on twitch.tv/DND, Wednesday nights on twitch.tv/GeekSpaceTV, playing a Stars Without Number campaign. And this Sunday, I'm running my first game that I've ever run for a bunch of nerds, including the person who made the game that I'm playing. So I didn't set myself up for failure there. Nope.
Listen, every day that anyone accomplishes anything is a potential for failure. This has no more weight than anything else. And plus, also, we're all going to come back you up, and it's going to be great. So don't worry about it. You're going to be good. Well, cool. That's it for today's episode of Roll20 Presents The Hot Circle. I hope you have enjoyed it and that you go through your day knowing that whatever happens to you, you're probably doing better than the day that Joy had. Which really, I think, is the point. I hope that you'll come back and check out tomorrow, either on twitch.tv/DND or right here, hosted our continuing adventures in the Tomb of Annihilation, which is super fun. All of these people have given you lots of cool things to do. You can find me on Twitter @SkinnyGhost or twitch.tv/AdamKoble. You know the drill. You've seen us before. If you haven't, hi, welcome. You can watch our other stuff down there on YouTube or right here in the VODs if you're watching this on Twitch. That's it for us for this week. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. This stream is brought to you by Roll20, an easy-to-use virtual tabletop dedicated to making tabletop RPGs accessible to everyone. Join the adventuring party at roll20.net.